Hey, welcome back to another episode of the TVC Collector. We're going to cover some sales of things that went on April 2nd and 3rd. So let's get right into it and just check to see what things are selling for and the prices of what stuff are going for. So first of all, we had a Bespin, Princess Leia Bespin from the 1.0 collection. This is in 2012 VC111. Love this figure. This one went for 850 basically shipped to your house, and that did include a protective case. So pretty good deal on that, because I have seen these go, especially unpunched, I've seen these go upwards of 100 to $125. So that's a pretty good deal on that one. Next up, we got another Princess Leia. So this is the Return of the Jedi instead of the Revenge of the Jedi. We've been seeing a lot of Revenge lately. This is Return of the Jedi with the prototype Boba Fett sticker on it. A lot cheaper on this one, 175 plus 12 shipping. So about what is that, 185, 190 something, 190 shipped for that. Card looked decent. I did see this line down here in the bottom that went across the bottom of the card, but for the most part, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It was a punched example. So Princess Leia, though, she holds her value very well on that particular card. Next up, we had two price points for the Imperial Assault Tank Commander from 2018. This is the VC 148, I believe. Love this figure. And it was interesting on these figures, they actually did these on the North American style cards, so they do have the multi-language pill, which I really love. Now, in the UK and in Europe, and not just the UK, but in Europe in general, they have the single pill card, which only said Imperial Assault Tank Commander. So a lot of people wanted both versions of the card, but I do love these multi-language pills. I'm a sucker for those. So anyway, this went for $97 from this seller. Another one went from this seller for exactly the same price, 97 and 97. This one came with a protective case, so that's about what they go for. And here's another figure that has actually held its resale value quite a bit. I think they were kind of, I don't want to say short pack, but they definitely just didn't mass produce these, so they've definitely held their value pretty well. All right, so moving on, I got two price points for this too. Is the Darth Vader VC115. This was the very last figure in the 1.0 line before they took a hiatus and then came back with the 2.0 run. But this was unpunched, and so this one was 106. There was one deal with the crease in the inside of the hang tab, and I have seen that with other 1.0 figures in particularly that were unpunched. Sometimes you would see that straight out of a case. I got a figure at a 1.0. I think it was Shea Vizsla, that mine, when I pulled it right out of the case, it had that crease on that hang tab, but the rest of the card looked pretty good. So at any rate, that one sold for 106. We had another one that sold for quite a bit more than that. That was 119, 123 shipped for this one. Now, this one did not have a crease in the hang tab. So, but at any rate, there's two different price points on the VC 115 Wrath Darth Vader, or Emperor's Wrath Darth Vader, I should say. All right, next up, one of my favorites is a VC 44 2011 unpunched Dagobah Luke. This is the one that has the very light blue. It's almost crystal clear lightsaber. This one has a variant. If you're looking for the other one, that has the dark blue lightsaber, and it's it's interesting. We call that a variant. There were multiple cards of this that had that. The Barris Offee had two colored lightsabers. The Phi L Search, I think, I don't remember his VC number, but he had it. Many of those in that run had the two different lightsabers. I don't know if it was a variant as much as maybe they're two different factories, maybe, and one of them didn't have enough ink in there, for whatever they use to fill these lightsaber colors with. But at any rate, I've got both of them just because, again, I collect variants. So keep an eye. Just remember that if you're looking for both of them, if you like variants, there are two of them out there. So this one was 85 and another 7, so about 92 shipped. That's one of my favorite ones from the 1.0 run. Here we have a Bastila Shan VC69. $90 shipped on that one, is a punched example with prototype Boba Fett armor sticker with the offer inside of it. These also did, the character debut stickers on the bubble. That was kind of a nice little feature that they did. So that's that one. Then next up, we actually had an Anakin Skywalker with the Boba Fett offer. So this is a lot of times you'll see the Darth Vader ones, but this is the actual Anakin Skywalker. And here again, he's held his resale value quite a bit. 95 plus another 650, so about $101 shipped is what that one went for. And this one is one of the earlier versions. You can see here again, it does not have the text. And these are the original. Instead of having the vintage card figures for these, it actually came with the cards that they were originally. That was the Revenge of the Sith line, and that was actually the Power of the Force line that they used those card backs. So later on, there's a different version of this where again they collect all these figures, and it also had the updated cards on it, and that's the Darth Vader one. If you look at the Darth Vader one, you'll see that has the Darth Vader in the name pill. All right, so next up, we had a Canadian one. I was going to talk about this one a little bit here. This is a Canadian VCO8. This is one of the harder to find variants. So this one was in Quebec, Canada. It was $265 plus another $13 to ship, so $278 shipped. But what makes this harder to find is there are multiple of these. This is the very first one, one of the ones that came out with the Baba. You can see on the name offer it was Baba. There's a whole bunch of these. Luke VCO4 had the Baba, um, and several of them did. And this one here has the actual corrected Boba, and that's after they made the catch and they caught it. But this is the harder one to find because by the time they made this change, that offer, the Boba Fett rocket firing mail away offer, was kind of winding down to a close. So that's one of the reasons why you can see that this one goes for so much more. You can actually get the Baba one cheaper than this one. So that's why this guy went for so much money. And just to get into the weeds even more on this, there's actually multiple of these. I'll show you mine. I actually have the um, let me bring it down like this so you can actually see the whole thing. This one, mine's offerless. So I actually have a true blue offerless one of this one. And then the other one that they did is the foil. So this one has the foil. And then another harder one to find is if you notice in the very first releases, this one has the small fonts on it. And you can see the back of the card has changed somewhat versus the now that just switched pictures on me, versus the first release had these big large fonts. And you can see this logo down here. If I zoom in on that, that's again got that Star Wars logo that they used to use, and then they changed it over. Actually, that's my Return of the Jedi card, but they changed it over to the this is not working for me here very well. This one here, again, this is the foil version, but if I go to this one, this is the 2011 version. I just sent this one off for grading, actually. And this one's got the small font. So this is another one that's hard to find. So again, there's lots of VCO8 um, variants out there. So if you're crazy like me and you want to try to collect them all, just know that there's a ton of them out there. So this one here again with the Boba is more harder to find than even the one with the Baba sticker on it. So all right, moving on, we had a couple of Tonica sisters. These came in protective cases, which is always good. So 275 plus another 16, so 301 shipped. Here again, you buy the pair of them. Want to buy it now? That's about what they go for, 301 shipped. Next up, this was a fairly good deal here. This was 300 for all of the Ghost plus the two extra ones in the 2-pack. So all of the mural cards for the Ghost crew. So that went for 320 shipped, and they all had protective cases. So they came in star cases. So that was a pretty nice deal on that. And then here's another one that went for 315. So right in $5, and this one actually came with a callus as well. So these came in protective cases. These did not come in protective cases, but this too looked like it was still factory sealed, and it came with an agent callus. So 315 versus 320. So there's your two price points on all of those. Next up, we had a couple of graded figures. This was a 9.0 is what it was, AFA graded. The VC 194 Shadow Trooper. This one was listed for $80. The best price accepted on it was $65, plus another $20 to ship it, so $85 for a graded figure. Force Unleashed video game. That was a cool game back in 2008. Then we had a Grief Karga graded VC 185. This was an uncirculated 9.0. So the difference again with the uncirculated and the regular score is someone sent in a whole case of Grief Kargas and got them graded, and this one got the uncirculated grade, which is the U. That one was listed for 90. The best price offer accepted on it was 75. So 95 shipped on that one. So pretty good deal on some graded figures there. So now getting away from the single carded figures, just looking at here's one of the 4 packs that came out. This one had the mostly stormtroopers and one sand trooper with the pauldron on it. $86.95 with free shipping on that. Those have kind of held their resale value quite a bit as well, because I think initially when they came out, they were about $45 retail, and so they're literally double what they are now. That we've seen that a lot with the Rebel Fleet Trooper. Those things are going for $90 to $100 when they were originally when they came out 45. Now the Shore Troopers, I've seen those for as low as 65, so they ain't quite as high as these, but anyway, that's what these guys go for. Next up, we had a HasLab Cantina. This was just the base version. So the base version with no figures. So $275 plus another $43 to ship that. So we're almost talking about almost 325, about 320 shipped on just the base unit with no figures. And compare that to, I thought this was interesting. This was $180. This was the add-on piece that would turn the base unit into the deluxe. So all they were selling was just this piece right here for $180 plus another $17 to ship. So what is that, about $197.25 shipped for just that piece right there. And again, that just comes with the all alcoves and the other side of the, alcoves and stuff, so that turns the base unit into the deluxe. All right, and moving on, we had another Power Droid cell from he had the 2012 San Diego Comic Con Carbonite chamber that came with all of the they call those the Lost Line figures. Kind of weird, cards that they put these on. They didn't really do too well. This was towards the end of the run of the 1.0 line, and those cards are interesting. I never did like them that much when they came out. The figures were all just repacks because they did a regular clone lieutenant, they did a Jar Jar Binks, they did the you can kind of see off here in this other one he has over here, the Shock Trooper, Vader's Wrath was the 4th one that we just saw, the VC 115. Bespin Leia was the very first one that we saw, VC 111, and then a Sand Trooper. I believe it was VC 112 that they did. It was the Dirty Sand Trooper. So that was the 6. Plus you got the Jar Jar and Carbonite. So 724 bucks for this shipped, and that is a fairly big size container too. I've got one, and yeah, it's in a good size box. So next up, we'll get into some vehicles here. So we had the Toys R Us exclusive X-Wing fighter. This one was sold for 120, 133.75 shipped. That's a really nice one. It looked like the box was in pretty good condition, but you could see down here in the corner this kind of crinkle on the backside. So, but at any rate, if that's what it went for, and that's about what these go for as well. You can get the current Luke Skywalker fighter for cheaper. They run about $99, but this is the Toys R Us exclusive one. That's what they were going for. When they came out, that was like 2012, 2013, somewhere in there. I want to say they were only about $59, $69. They really weren't that much, so they're kind of double the prices that what they were back in those times. But everything is so. We had another TIE Fighter, Walmart exclusive Imperial TIE Fighter. That one sold for $95 with free shipping. We had a couple of more Slaves ones. There's been a lot of Slave ones here sold lately. This one was on a bid, came in at 127.50 plus another 8 to ship it. So about $136 shipped. This box was not in the greatest condition. It did have quite a bit of damage in certain places. You can see up here there's a big ding in it there and whatnot. But for the ESB version of Slave One, that's a good price at $135, opposed to this one, which was 120, but you have the $50 shipping, so that was 170 is what you paid for this one. These are both the same version. This is the 2021 version that comes with the stand, so there's your two different price points on that particular guy. And lastly, we had another Ghost that sold. Here again, this one's factory sealed. This seller had it for $540 plus another $100 shipped, so $649 is what it shipped for. Interestingly, this person has 4 available, 1 sold, so there's actually 3 still available if you're looking for them. But ghosts are pretty plentiful. They're not hard to find at all. So that's everything that I got to cover on this. Lastly, I just wanted to cover what I got. I picked up this week. I got the General Veers with the AT-AT Commander figure that came in from my whole, Hasbro Pulse Premium. And as a lot of you know, this is a newer figure that just came in. So I don't like the fact. I'm sure that y'all have heard about this, and they reused this AT-AT card back. The card back is glorious and beautiful, but the fact that they had already used it on the AT Commander, there's a lot of us that wanted. I don't know why they did not use this version of Veers to go along with the Imperial Snowtrooper Commander. That would have been such a much better use. Imagine that photo with Veers sitting right next to the Imperial Snowtrooper Commander, which is standing right next to him, side by side, if you had those cards together. So. Anyway, I picked this up today. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to open this one for display on my shelf because the one that I have is the 2006 Saga Collection Veers, and the likeness to Julian Glover on that old figure was actually one of the better ones. It was actually a really good one. But this is vintage collection, more articulation. So I always want to put the best one on my display shelves and stuff. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this look at the sales, things that were happening for April 2nd and 3rd. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell, and it'll give you notifications on new comments. And post in the comments anything that you picked up recently. Just curious what everybody else is getting. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.